The only way for leads to stop ghosting your AI chatbot is if they actually enjoy talking to it. But there's too many distractions that pull them away. Unless you can master this one thing: personality. By the end of this video, you'll know how to give your AI chatbot a distinct personality in Botpress, the 3 different ways that you can do this, and how much they all cost for your AI spend, as well as the method that you should pick to make sure that you get the best result and can create an amazing personality for the chatbots that you build. But just so that you understand this, I want you to think about the last time that you went to a party. You probably met a range of different people, but the people that you actually enjoyed talking to are the ones with personality, the ones who laughed different, sound different, think different, have different perspectives. And it's the same exact thing with an AI chatbot. There's so many chatbots that people speak to nowadays: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. But when someone talks to a chatbot that you've built, it needs to have a personality that stands out from those. It should not sound like AI. I've been building on WordPress for 2 years now, and the biggest problem that I've seen with other builders is that they just take the default personality that WordPress gives them. As a result, their chatbots sound like a bot: flat, generic, replaceable. That's what we're trying to actually fix in this video. By the way, if you need help with a WordPress build, my email's in the video description below. Send me a message. Now, this first method is for you if you want to build something into your AI chatbot that is consistent across conversations. The problem is that many conversations tend to take different pathways. Users send different messages, the bot responds in different ways, and as a result, the bot may or may not end up saying something that you did not plan for. Sometimes it's harmless, other times it just kind of kills the vibe of the conversation, but other times it's something that the AI chatbot should absolutely not say, that might completely ruin the conversion or even cause the user to feel uncomfortable. Yes, it does happen. So this is the problem that this first method solves. If you're building an AI chatbot for a client or customer, their brand is on the line, not yours. So you, the builder, need to make sure that you get this absolutely correct. So the good thing about this first method is that it's amazing for boundaries and security. However, I'll tell you honestly, if you want to build a more in-depth personality, you might want to look into the other 2 methods that I'll mention later in this video. Anyways, this first method is using the policy agent in your AI chatbot. Here's how.
So setting up your AI chatbot's policy is actually quite simple. All you have to do is come into your studio, and you want to start by going to this little agents tab on the left and make sure that the policy agent is enabled. So you can see mine is disabled right now, but you want to click on that and just enable it. You can also choose a model that you want to use to manage the policy. And like always, choose a more advanced model if you're going to have a more complicated policy, but know that that will be more expensive for you. But if you do want to have a cheaper, if you do have a simpler policy, you can go ahead and choose a cheaper and slightly less capable model. Once that's done, what you want to do is just type over here your policy. So I've actually created a policy template, which I've linked in the video description below. So go ahead and check that out. You can copy that, paste that here, and then just edit and change it to make it suitable for your AI chatbot.
So now that you set the ground rules of your AI chatbot with a policy basically tells it what not to do. This is where it gets interesting, because this second method tells your bot who to actually be. The problem it solves is that most AI chatbots have just no character to them, no warmth, no humor, and that's exactly what you're trying to achieve with this second method. You've already told your bot what not to do, so in this second method, you want to build a personality into it that your bot can adapt and use to adjust all of its messages to the user before they go out, to make sure that they fit within this set personality that you have created for that AI chatbot. When you get this right, your AI chatbot stops feeling like a tool and actually feels like a person, and that's what makes people trust it and actually enjoy talking to it. And in fact, users who do enjoy talking to your AI chatbot are more likely to come back to it, even if they don't convert. So what you're doing is you're actually increasing its conversion rate, because those people who don't convert today might come back in a few days, a few weeks, or even a few months, because the personality is just so good. But before I show you this, I have to tell you this one thing. This method does produce a good personality for your AI chatbot if done right, but it can also get very expensive very quickly. And the reason for this is that your AI chatbot doesn't actually write its original message according to your personality. In Botpress, what it does is it first writes the message and then it rewrites it a second time using the AI to make sure that it fits that personality. So essentially, it does double work. What this means is that with every single message that your AI chatbot has to send out, especially if you have a complex personality built using this method, it will have to rewrite that message according to the criteria in your personality, and that can cost a lot, especially if you're using a very expensive AI model. But for me personally, I think it's actually worth it because of how accurate you can get your AI chatbot's personality to be using this method. Here's how to do it in Botpress.
It's actually pretty much the same thing if you're doing the personality route. All you have to do is come into the agents tab once again and select personality agent, and you want to enable that. Again, it's the same way of choosing a model. Choose a model that's suitable for your AI chatbot based on how much you need to spend and also on how capable you need it to be. And then you can go ahead and write your personality here. And again, I've created a personality template for you to copy and use, which you can find in the doc in the video description below.
So what if you actually want a good AI chatbot personality on Botpress without overrunning your AI spend? Well, this third method is for you. Now, if you want full control over your AI chatbot's personality, or if you're just working on a tight client budget and can't afford to spend all of that AI spend, you can actually just hard code your AI chatbot's personality into it. What this means is that you write all of its messages custom to fit the personality that you want it to have. Every single message sounds exactly as you intend it to be. And this is extremely useful if you're building an AI chatbot for conversion and if you're very good at copywriting, because what that means is essentially you can get your AI chatbot to send a specific message worded and sounding exactly as you like by simply typing it. I used to do this a lot at the start, but I encountered this problem. The problem was that my AI chatbots were just taking far too long to build. I was spending a lot of time writing messages and making them picture perfect. It took a lot of energy and wasted a lot of time. But if it's something that you think is important for your AI chatbot project, which it is for some, then you need to go ahead and do it. But you also need to be very careful if you're building an AI chatbot that users will keep coming back to, because what this means is if you hard code messages into it, the users will start to notice repetition. For example, if you hard code a very friendly and energetic human sounding good morning message, but then every single morning the same person sends a message to it again, it gets boring and repetitive and then actually begins to sound like a bot, because every single morning the AI chatbot is saying the exact same thing word for word to them, and that can get very irritating very quickly. But usually when I'm building conversion AI chatbots, the conversations are very structured and most users will only flow through it once. So this method of coding a personality into an AI chatbot is actually very efficient and helpful. So here's how to do it in Botpress.
This last and final way is basically just hard coding the personality into your AI chatbot. And what I mean by this is you don't use AI, but what you do is you do use standard nodes. And for example, if you want to create a chatbot that's very energetic, you just type in an energetic message. So you can see I've typed in a very energetic message, and when I say hi, I get hello user, so happy to see you. And you can see that's personality. Essentially, that's what it is, the way the chatbot sends messages to the user. The main issue with this is that it's very repetitive. So because it's hard coded into the AI chatbot, it's not going to change saying this no matter what happens. It's pretty much going to say the same thing again and again. And that can be a little irritating for users. But if users are only interacting with your AI chatbot once, they probably won't notice that messages are being repeated because they're only going through it once. And so something like this would be suitable, so much cheaper than using the policy agent or the personality agent, and would also be far quicker to set up.
The thing that most Botpress builders forget after sorting out their chatbot's personality is this. You see, when you do fix your chatbot personality, more people will talk to it. And that's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. Because more people means that you don't always get the right leads, the right customers, the ICPs speaking to your AI chatbot. And that's why I made this video up here to walk you through building an AI chatbot that qualifies leads. That way you can sort through all the ones that are not actually going to convert and make sure you convert as many of the right leads as possible in your AI chatbot. Check it out here.